I don't know what that part is.
My face is melted.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Alter Ego Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, is the Cyborg.
I always wonder if when you say hello, do they say hello back on the other side of the radio?
That's all you have to pause.
I need you to stop asking questions, Mark. Okay? Ryan, how are you?
I'm swell. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man.
Ryan asked a question.
Megan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Megan asked a question.
Mark, I need you to stop looking for answers.
Never.
Okay?
The truth is out there.
Somebody's out there in their car going, yes, I say hi back!
This is gonna be
Hello.
This is gonna be a beat up on Mark episode. I feel like.
It won't be at all. We missed him dearly.
I know, but
Try it.
Because every week I say, with me as always. And then last week happened.
yeah. So you're a big liar.
Oh,
How did firmware update go?
That's where I need the sound effect. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, boy.
Here
what
we
a busy
go.
week, huh?
Yeah, you said there's some juicy news that I can't wait to hear.
I was very excited
Juicy.
when I saw the news. Very excited. I was like, ooh, we actually got a lot of stuff to talk about. Because I was worried. Because full disclosure, forgot what we were supposed to be talking about today. We planned this out ahead of time. I'm just stupid. And I get in the chat and somebody's like, oh, yeah, we're trying to convince Mark to watch Demon Slayer. And I was like, oh, all right.
Did you
Like,
finish it?
Let me go see what news there is. And I said, oh, we'll be okay either way.
Because there's tons of news.
Yeah, there's tons of good news, especially DC.
Oh.
DC's got a lot of news today. You know who else has a lot of news today?
Ford
Ford
Supply.
Supply Company, baby.
Oh, I thought it was Ryan.
They just finished their anniversary sale. You missed it. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't.
If you're smelling your armpits now and they don't smell good, that's because you missed out, and I'm sorry. Maybe it'll come back around, but
Full price armpits.
you can still get 10% off your order if you go to FordSupply.com and enter promo code ALTEREGO. Ford Soap, real soap, no bullshit.
You can also go to Facebook and Instagram.
I'm going to start letting you read the whole ad because you, sir, are an investor.
Trying to get to that level.
I saw a
yeah,
giant box of soap on Ryan's front seat when we got here today.
That's right. That's right. My man is interested in getting the soaps.
All of them.
Yeah. You know who else is getting the soaps?
Tony and Nello.
Tony and Nellos.
Oh,
Wait, which one?
Oh, gosh.
hopefully both.
Maybe Brewmaster. I think some of their, like, oh, my God, a big plate of spaghetti and maybe a bourbon on the side or something. I don't know. That doesn't really
I
go
thought you
well
meant
together.
which one, Tony or
It doesn't
Nello?
go well together because they're like, you know, like, isn't Italian kind of a wine food?
Yes, red wine more.
So what do we say? Maybe we'll get some steak or something from there and get a bourbon. Do they have bourbon?
I don't know.
I don't think they
No,
do.
they have wine and beer.
Well, Tony and Ornello, please contact us at alteregopodcast.org.
Can you BYOW?
I thought you wanted a spaghetti and meatball scented soap.
Shut up.
I thought that's where you were going.
I know. I think
No.
we're all confused on everything that's being
Everyone
said.
shut up because Tony and Nello's Southern Italian Cuisine and Grill is a hidden gem that's family-owned and operated on the outskirts of St. Petersburg at 1136 Pinellas Bayway, South Tierra Verde, Florida. This is a must-try homemade Italian lunch or dinner. Just remember to bring your appetite because portions are very generous. Call for a reservation today at 727-867-3577 and check out TonyandNellos.com.
I mean, if we keep
Was that
plugging,
good?
That was
how
well
hidden
done.
are
That was well
they?
done.
She was trying to read along with me as I was speed reading it. So
do it.
the pressure was on. So let's get right into it, shall we?
Let's.
Shall we? We shall? Let's get into
Shall
this
I?
chunky DC news.
Oh,
I know you're excited.
I love.
I know all
Chunky and I love
the
DC.
listeners at home are excited. The previous iteration of The Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix, has a sequel in the books. They're working on that right now. And the news is that the director of the first film, Todd Phillips, is back to co-write the script and hopefully direct. Hopefully.
He's got to. That movie made
Yeah.
$1 billion
Yeah.
with a B.
Yeah.
It made more money than I think any of the other DC movies of recent time.
I got to say, I really loved it.
I
Yeah.
still have not seen it yet.
Because it's the one movie that they allowed the director to follow his vision.
And the one thing about it is the way Joaquin Phoenix plays the Joker in that flick it's true to the Joker in a sense that you never know what's going to come out of him.
Yeah.
You never know what reaction you're going to see.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations where they took liberties with the character.
Yeah.
Just like Marvel does, just like everybody else does. But it's good, so it doesn't matter that they took liberties. People get mad when DC takes liberties with characters, and it's bad. And it's not. It's just like Batman with a machine gun.
His Joker,
it's bad.
His Joker was just so relatable to times now.
Yeah.
I felt. I was like, man, I remember sitting in the theater and looking at Megan and go, wow, I could see something like this really happening.
They took a chance and it landed. There's the difference.
It landed hard. It's one of those movies. I'm weird with movies, right? Like there's some movies that I'll be like, that movie is fantastic, and I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch it
really
one time.
Fantastic?
I'm like, yeah, it is, because I don't know. Maybe I don't want to taint my vision of it. I liked it so much. There's a movie that's left an impression on me my whole life called Event Horizon. I only watched it one time. It scared the bejesus out of me. And even now at 35 years old, I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to see it again.
Did enough damage the first
It
go.
did enough damage.
I've never seen it, so I can't.
Yeah. So that's it for DC news.
You got a dangly mic. What's going on there?
I don't know what's
you got a
going
little
on with it.
swivel going.
Got to work with it here. I work with what I've got. I said we had chunky DC news. There's only one thing. I was being funny.
Oh,
Okay,
geez.
sue me. Oh my gosh.
That one news piece was very thick.
I know.
Lizzo thing.
Yeah, it was. Okay, on to TV and movie news. This is kind of a superhero one.
Okay.
The brand new Netflix vehicle Jupiter's Legacy already been canceled.
Ooh,
not
glad
a
I
good
didn't
sign.
start watching it.
Me too.
Good.
I
I
saw-
just saved myself 8 hours.
I was like,
I was scrolling through the Netflix the other day and I was like, oh yeah, we got to watch that. I remember
Yeah.
them talking about it on the podcast.
yep.
Maybe I'll check it out. And I see this Thanos kind of looking dude on the front. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll give it a look-see.
Every time I
And
see it.
This is why I do not get into things that you guys are always like, you haven't watched that? No. Because you'll cancel it way before it's finished and I'll just have wasted my time.
I gotta say, we've only been victim of that on as far as this show is concerned one time, and that was with Swamp Thing, and we watched it after it had already been canceled.
Yeah,
But Swamp Thing, that I stand by that. That was a great show. For the character that you get, Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
How do you immerse yourself into a world of a character like Swamp Thing? And they did it.
I have a friend whose favorite comic book character is Swamp Thing, and I just stare at him like, why?
I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie. I used to
How?
love that show when I was a kid.
Same.
I used to watch the hell out of Swamp Thing when I was a kid.
I gotta tell you, Swamp Thing says some of the most cryptic shit you've ever read in a comic. I like him. I like him a lot. I'm a fan. But there's already a spin-off of that show that's ordered, even though it's canceled, focusing solely on the villains of the show.
I didn't make it that far. Who are the villains of the show?
I don't know.
Me neither.
I don't care. I'm not.
Didn't
not,
you watch the show?
No. I
Oh.
had no intentions of watching Jupiter's Legacy until we were
Jupiter's
ready
Legacy. I'm sorry. I was still talking
What did you
about
mean?
Swamp Thing.
No.
I'm like,
no,
there's
no.
a Swamp Thing spinoff?
No. Jupiter's
She Swamp
Legacy
Thing?
We haven't,
Okay.
we haven't
already has
watched that one
a
yet.
spin-off of the villains, which I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Why wouldn't they just make it a continuation and just focus? Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've talked about this before. Critical Role, the D&D podcast that's weekly and episodic. They just had a very climactic finale to Campaign 2.
Oh.
How long do you think Campaign 2 lasted?
8 hours.
8 hours? That's a
Sorry.
wonderful guess.
I'm prematurely
Just
laughing.
let me
I don't
help
know
you out
the
here. It's-
definition of a
Oh,
campaign.
no, you're
Okay.
talking about
Is that a
campaign
one
for the
sitting?
Yeah.
entire thing?
Not a session.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold
okay,
on.
okay.
I'm
Hold
not-
on. A session roughly is about 4 hours each for them.
I know that
anywhere
just from you
between
playing.
anywhere between 3 and 4 hours is typically how long it was.
I can see it 300 hours.
Campaign?
So let's go. How many years? How long has
Years?
Campaign 2 been
Yes.
going?
I was
on?
going to say 6 months. So I think I'm off.
You're way off.
3 years.
Bingo! On the nose.
So, like, for a good time frame reference, we've been playing our Wednesday night game weekly with very few skips since November.
Mm-hmm.
And we play at least 3 hours every Wednesday.
That's not even close to 3 years.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying. But we're also nowhere near even close to done.
No.
That's
So
how
is
time
that
works.
3 years like
No,
Okay.
that's 3 years of weekly episodic
One
stuff
week,
going on.
one week
Right.
about four,
Not
probably
3
4
years worth of content in a 24-hour spectrum. No, that would have been
Okay.
insane.
That would have been really, really cool.
I was about to give him some respect. Like those nerds.
That's
go
like-
hard.
So what is that, like 150 sessions? Like,
I could tell you right now how many.
it's got to be like
sessions it's been.
162 sessions.
I mean,
or
there's
something.
All I
52
know
weeks
is
in a year,
I
so,
finished
100 and-
what I think is the climactic battle to end campaign.
It's 156.
Yeah,
weeks.
but I'm
That's
sure
too
they
many.
They've
Praise.
taken. They did take a few weeks off because of COVID. They had to
dare they.
reappropriate
This
their
is episode
studio.
140.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
12 weeks out of 3 years that they didn't play,
Yeah.
God, get your act
or
together.
16 weeks, or whatever.
So it was one of the best fights I've seen in a long time. It's an emotional roller coaster.
And the character development that
Yeah.
these, because they're all voice actors and they're all actors. So I mean, like the character development that you get out of that with the DM,
you start
of
to
Matt
really
Mercer is-
identify with characters and like,
Yeah.
man, I really hope that character does well. And the character that I love the most died. Now, I won't tell you if she was resurrected or not, but she was
That's-
dead.
Yes.
And in the moment when she was dead, I was just like, oh shit. Like it's in a moment when they go to Critical Role and they go, they're dead. I'm like, oh shit, dead. No way, this is D&D. But
Yeah.
anyway, it was intense.
No voodoo priest came by and resurrected her or anything.
Oh my gosh, you guys just left a
Akambe,
boogeyman
yeah.
voodoo priest that they
His
just
name's
met.
Akambe. We just left.
That's
his
what they
hut
call
last
him.
night.
That's not his name, but that's okay.
Well, we call him a Kambe,
Sounds
we
rude.
call him a Boobois, we call him a Bebe, we call him a Crombie because nobody seems to remember a
yeah,
Kambe.
D&D campaigns tend to butcher names on purpose and piss off the DM so that they throw really powerful stuff at them.
That
Oh,
seems like
sorry.
a good idea for
I
strategy.
that
call
wasn't
him a
that
Kambe.
wasn't foreshadowing. Sorry.
But last night we had a breakthrough.
Yeah, we did.
Is it that you'd have
Yeah, but we're on Critical Role right now.
Yeah, but
Oh,
we're
yeah,
talking D&D.
No, we're not getting into your
Yeah, but not your D&D. We're
stuff.
talking about
Yeah.
their D&D.
Yeah, so they are getting ready to, I think, kick up campaign 3. I hope.
They'll probably take some
So
time
as
off.
popular
They did
as that
last time.
show is, they're on the third campaign.
So here's the thing. It's interesting for you to say that, right? Because their first campaign was longer than 3 years.
And if you watch their first campaign, it was like around a kitchen table with a wonky donk camera that was all,
Now
and the
they're
sound
in-
was awful. Now they have a full studio, they have a full product line, they have a full, like they literally probably
Props.
do this
Yeah.
as probably 90% of their jobs, and they do all their like only voice acting. Like I don't think any of them do anything else.
Well, I can tell you when I went to C2E2 in Chicago last year.
Yeah.
Or no, 2019.
Were they-
God,
were they live
where's
there?
The time? Yes, they were live, and they were on the main slate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were up there with the A-level actors. Well, B-level actors, but A-level for Comic-Con guests.
Yeah.
But I was like, holy shit, they're like center stage.
Sold
Yeah.
out.
Like, oh, it's like them and then Jason Momoa doing a Q&A after that. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, they're
And
a big deal.
they get 4 hours start to finish.
Yeah,
Let's
they
go.
were. Yeah.
And Matt
They had
Mercer,
the biggest booth there. They had the whole shebang.
Yeah.
and Matt Mercer is obviously you're already like super like known at least in the
Oh,
world.
yeah. Matt Mershner.
Mershner. No,
In the,
for like games. Like
I know,
he's-
I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's done, and so is Travis Willingham.
They all are.
Yeah, they
Trav
all
Trav.
are.
Yeah, of course.
Shut
Big
the
Travs.
Never heard of him.
T-Dog. You have heard of Travis
Yep.
Willingham.
Never
He's
heard of
done every
Yeah, you
Thor
have.
voice in like all the games in the last probably 5 years.
Well, that's aggressive, but he does play a lot of Thor for Disney and for all the
Oh,
other big
does-
games. For instance,
I thought
the
it was-
Marvel's Avengers game, he plays Thor
he
in
plays
that
Thor
one.
in that
I was
one.
gonna say, wasn't that the only Marvel game from the last 5 years?
And his wife, Laura Bailey, who is my favorite character, she plays Black Widow in that game too.
And Matt Mercer.
Laura Bailey, I have heard of.
I was gonna say that
Matt
name
Mercer
sounds
is
familiar.
Reaper in Overwatch.
What?
Or I'm sorry,
McCree.
McCree. Sorry.
You're
He's
embarrassing
McCree,
me.
and he's also not to segue. Not that we're segueing back to the episode.
She doesn't know where you're going, but she's gonna
No. But he
I was
also
about to
does the voice of the master of the
Universe.
Plantation?
No, what are they called?
Oh, he plays the
Master of
the
in
main
Demon Slayer.
demon. No,
guy
no,
with
he
the scars
yes. The
on his face.
okay, hold on. Press
So we're
pause.
segueing right into Demon
We're
Slayer.
not.
All right.
But he's in Demon Slayer. That's all you need to know. Campaign 3 is going to be awesome.
We'll go back to it.
How dare you try to hijack my segues?
Dare I try to be a part of the episode?
Oh, you can be a part of the
Speaking
episode.
of the
but-
end of the episode, thank you very much, everybody.
Wow.
Buy some soap. We're out of here.
All right, so it's
Get
just
some
you and me
meatballs.
now. I guess we could
guess.
segue as much as we want.
Yeah, you and I are just going to talk about Demon
Can you
Slayer.
guys just segue
You guys
back
listen to
and
Alter
forth?
Ego? Ryan and Mark just quit.
Because Megan won't shut up. Okay, I'm going to be quiet. Turn me off.
Segue
Okay, here we go. We're going to do this right now.
She just segued to her wine.
Bingo. She's muted. She can't hurt us anymore.
Yes, I can.
Oh, no, it carries.
Anyway, so yeah, let's move on. Jungle Cruise put out a new poster for their movie. And for the first time since the announcement of Jungle Cruise, I was like, oh, cool. That's the level of excitement they got out of me because they showed Edgar Ramirez looking really freaking funky and weird, like covered in plants, like he was a living, plant or something
Like
with
a
a
Swamp Thing
snake.
Man?
Yeah, almost with a snake coiled around his arm. And I was like, I can get behind some dark stuff.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you guys like the new Jumanji remake with Kevin Hart and The Rock?
I really enjoy Kevin Hart a lot. So yeah, I liked them both.
I love Jack Black in the first one.
I was going to say, it just seems like that, but Disney. Like, it just seems like they're going to follow that line of thought.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Am I the only one who's ever been on the Jungle Cruise at Disney? I remember we talked about this
You are.
before.
I haven't.
So
I've never been to Disney.
What?
Lived in Florida my whole life.
You live an hour and a half away.
I've never been.
Really? You have
What?
children.
Yeah, real true
I'm
story.
calling the cops.
That sounds judgy.
oh, I'm gonna go.
It is
with you.
judgy.
I'm gonna take you the first time.
So wait, you've never been to
No.
So you
any
can
of the
hopefully
Disney parks?
hate it as
No.
much as I do.
Universal?
I've been to Universal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Disney's pretty magical, though. Like,
Oh,
I'm not a
I
huge
hear that.
theme park guy,
No,
I hear
but
that.
it's like
No,
a...
it's not. It's a
I'm
lot
with
of
you.
people.
I'm on board with
Ryan
Mark
probably
on this
watched
one.
there and he's like, $12 for a sandwich. Fuck this.
Right?
I am on board with that too.
Who wants to wait 4 hours in line or at a 30-second ride? Yeah,
It falls somewhere in the middle.
All right, so moving on from Jungle Cruise, I'm sure you're right. And we'll
No, it
see.
is actually pretty dope.
Let's see more stuff that happens.
Ryan turned to
Especially the fireworks at night.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, so Disney, not Jungle Cruise.
Disney, yeah.
Okay. Our subject of last week, Army of the Dead, which if you listened to that whole episode and you hadn't seen the movie,
You have.
I'm real sorry. You've
Yeah,
seen the whole movie.
I
at this
pretty much
point.
saw the movie before I saw
So-
the movie.
so here's
Scene
what
by
happened
scene
is we-
remake you guys did.
Then again, though, sorry, go ahead.
No, we did the whole movie, and then after that, Megan was like, "I gotta watch it."
Yeah, I did. I literally was like, well, shit, I have to watch it now because
What'd
I
you
was.
think?
It wasn't, I mean, did I not say so? We've talked about this before. Stop it. We've talked about this. I didn't stare at my phone.
Because I said I wasn't going to watch it, and he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "I haven't heard good things," and he's like, "That's stupid."
So
And then what did I say? Don't do it.
So I will say, and we've said this before, since we started this podcast and doing like movie reviews, I'm very like cryptic or critical is probably the better word.
Both.
I'm very critical, whatever. So I watch it and I say to,
I almost died. I'm sorry.
Don't die.
I did say to him a couple times, but I mean, I didn't stare at my phone all night.
Well, that's
I
a good
watched the
sign.
whole movie and I stayed up on a Thursday having to work the next day until almost midnight watching this movie.
So how does this movie look in general? Does it look good?
It
or
doesn't
does it
look bad. It doesn't look bad.
So it doesn't look like it has a Netflix budget?
I think it looks great.
No, it really doesn't.
Because
It
Zack
really
Snyder
doesn't.
is fantastic at visuals, but I was wondering how that would work within the realm of Netflix.
It really wasn't bad.
Because they're cost cutters. So
There were a lot of obviously kind of loose ends and empty plot holes, like we had talked about. Well, they had
yeah.
talked about on the podcast. There was so much emptiness,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it looked okay.
I
It kept me captivated.
I went into it knowing what it was.
it's a Zack Snyder
when
movie.
you
It's not going to be
find-
written that well.
When you find yourself being hypercritical of a zombie
Bingo.
movie taking place in Las Vegas, okay, let's take a step back, Roger Ebert. Okay,
Yeah.
can we please relax a little bit? And if you just want to watch a movie and have some fun, it's a great movie for that. It literally is. Sure, there's a couple too many scenes of them walking from one place to the other, but other than that, all in all, if you came to see zombies get shot up by Dave Bautista, strap in, you're going to see it.
That's all you need.
You know what I'm saying?
You can see a little bit of that.
I'll watch it. I'm just not rushing out to watch it.
Right. And that's fine. You already
Guys, I
missed
just got
the episode.
Discovery Plus. There's a lot of stuff on there I need to watch.
You already missed the
it's a whole
episode.
thing.
We're past it.
Okay.
So,
to
speaking
live
of
in the
being
past.
past it,
Tony and Del. Oh,
Amazon has made a major purchase for $9 billion.
saw this.
MGM Studios.
Oh, just that little movie
entire
production company.
MGM movie production company, which
Just
owns
an itty bitty purchase.
things like, just to name a few, The Hobbit and all the J.R.R. Tolkien properties: Hot Tub Time Machine, James Bond, the girl with the dragon tattoo.
I like
Getting
that
a hot tub
sandwich.
time machine too.
It's already done. It owns the Creed franchise. Shut up.
You know where I'm going.
I
don't
do.
even
I
have
do.
to say it.
It's a lot of properties is all I want to say, and I'm not going to sit here and go through the entire list, but it's a lot. And so now get ready for those Amazon exclusives, man. Get ready.
Don't they have that Lord of the Rings?
Meteor Man.
Meteor Man. Oh no.
They own Meteor
Now
Man.
they just get the rights to the movies to show them, right? Not the actual.
No, they
IPs.
They have the licensing to those movies. They
It's
can make
basically just like
TV
Netflix.
shows and series and
But I will say,
whatever
after,
else they want.
after what Amazon Prime Video, whatever the hell you want to call it, has put out, Invincible being one of them, The Boys being another, I'm all in. I mean, I am not the biggest Amazon fan, although I shop from them regularly.
I was going
But-
to say that's bullshit. I've seen a couch home with an Amazon sticker on it before at your front door.
Okay, we had that conversation that made me feel super bad about buying shit on Amazon, and ever since then I've been kind of like, meh. But still, I did buy a couch and a wine fridge and all sorts
Whatever.
of...
I buy shit on Amazon every week.
Right. But the content that they put out, baller.
Well, they have.
Good.
Don't they have that big budget Lord of the Rings series coming out soon?
Yes.
So that might be part of what got the ball rolling on this.
It's
It's like the most expensive series of all time. Or
Probably
something like that?
butchering the number, but I think it's $156 million in production just to put the TV series together.
That's too many numbers.
It's a lot.
Now, when you're Amazon, that's pocket change.
I was going to
That's true.
say...
They got them Prime fees. They're up to $120
I was
now.
going to say, for as much as I love to shop Amazon Prime, stick to movies and maybe let the small shops sell stuff.
Whatever. You've already gouged them.
I mean,
I
You've
know.
already killed the small shop.
I know.
if
I
they're hurting
literally-
anybody, they're hurting Walmart. So let's get all on board
Okay.
for that.
Hey!
All right. So the next one was a recent box office release that is setting some pandemic records, which I'm very happy about. And I have to say that we took our first trip to the movie theaters not too long ago. But
What'd
if
you
you're
see?
comfortable going to the movie theaters, great. If you're not, great. But we went and saw Demon Slayer in the theaters. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about A Quiet Place 2.
Okay.
Oh,
And it set a lot of records for the pandemic times, not of movies all around, but as far as like income and what it brought in, it's indicating that people are starting to want to go back to the theaters, which is a fantastic thing in
So-
my opinion.
Of all the movies during the pandemic, that one, and I'm not saying that because the movie's bad. I'm
dare
saying
you.
that like, so you're going to sit in a movie theater with an unknown something weird creeping around in the world only to watch a movie of something weird creeping around in the world.
Well, one of them is a physical alien that'll eat your face off. The other one is a
you don't know.
disease
Well,
Allegedly.
or a virus, yeah. Anyway,
but at the time,
but yeah, so
I'm with you, Ryan.
Well,
but
a
at the
quiet
time-
Place 1 shows the monster 2, so get off that train, okay? It's leaving the station.
I'm really excited for this. The only reason I'm not going to see it in theaters right now is just because I don't want to listen to people chew.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
We went to the theaters. The only outside noise we heard in the Demon Slayer movie was a grown man sniffling and crying.
Oh my god!
I was going to say,
I don't miss the movies.
yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna move on because we're gonna get to that. The D&D movie starring Chris Pine and a couple others that have.
We're doing this whole like circle back thing constantly, and I love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's filming right now in the UK, and somebody sent me a meme today. Maria Slager, I love you. She sent me this meme, and it
was
made
so
me
good.
laugh, and I really hope that it goes exactly like she says. It says, the Dungeons and Dragons movie should kill off a character in the campaign, only to have a party meet a new character played by the same exact actor
Yes!
in the next scene.
Yes.
Which essentially is what happens in a campaign, because
Yes.
if we're all playing and Ryan dies, he's not done playing.
He's
He
gonna
just needs to make a new character and show up next week.
It's just like a reset.
Yep.
Exactly.
So they're gonna do the whole beer
That's
fest
pretty
thing,
funny.
That would be incredible.
where they kill off the Farva and then they bring them back as I forget landfill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do
Can we
that.
talk about who's,
And so
who's in that movie?
it also says, yeah, we have before on the podcast. I don't have it up, but if you find it, let me know.
I do. I have it.
But it says all the NPCs with speaking roles should be played by the exact same actor wearing a variant of different hats, and the group should never comment on it because obviously the DM plays every character you interact with. I don't know if they do that. Come on, that'd be pretty cool.
Because I mean, who's seeing this that doesn't play D&D? I mean, I guess
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I'm going to say, what if that joke doesn't land with people? But maybe some people will stumble into that movie never playing D&D before.
I think D&D is becoming wildly popular now.
Yes.
A lot of people are playing it, and a lot of people who thought it was nerdy and stupid since comic books has become a big thing, and a lot of things are changing in popular culture. More people are agreeable to jumping in and doing it.
Oh, it's nerdy as fuck, but I'll still play it.
Oh God, it's so
It's a lot of fun.
Nerdy
Yeah.
or not, it's so fun. And the actors in the movie that we've seen so far,
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine and Rajon Page from Bridgerton.
Oh,
Netflix series. Okay,
him.
he's very good. Let me just say, he's a very good actor. I watched that whole
Is he the
that
main
whole show.
character?
He's one of them. He's one
Okay.
of the main. Did you just turn me off?
I did not.
Oh, I thought he turned me off. I was like, what the hell? I'm talking. Thought you were playing a joke.
This
Anyway,
is where you finish your thought.
thought finished. Rajon Page is awesome.
Who does he play in the show that you're supporting?
He plays one of the lead characters. I don't remember his name. I watched it during the pandemic.
Oh, Rajon Page is fantastic, but you don't know what he's played in?
He's played in Bridgerton.
What's Bringerton?
I don't know, but
Bridgerton.
it was a hashtag
What's-
on TikTok.
It's a Netflix.
Bridgerton.
It's a Netflix TV show.
And you've watched it?
Yes, the whole thing.
I don't think you're telling me
And
the
he's
truth.
very good.
Yeah, I don't believe her either.
He's
I think
like a
she's lying to
lord
us.
of. It's like a based in the UK.
I've seen my fiance watching it. I looked in the room. I went, nope.
Then I fully believe that you've watched
But
it from start to finish.
Stop it right now. But Chris Pine. I love
love
Chris
Chris
Pine.
Pine.
My grandmother was here a couple of weeks ago,
Oh,
and I
God.
was talking to her, and she was talking about like how she got Netflix, and she's all excited. And I'm like, you should watch The Queen's Gambit. It's a really good show, which I really enjoyed.
That was a good one.
She's like, you know what I've been watching? The show with that really sexy black man. in it."
Let's
Just
go,
Bridgerton. I
Grandma!
was like, okay.
Let's go!
Yeah, she can come to the cookout.
Have you met Ryan?
Listen, I am on board for this.
He's a
It
dashing
caught me so
fella.
off guard. I was like, okay.
Rajon Page.
Is that him?
He's a dashing dude. Yeah.
Okay. He's a sexy black man, according to my
That's
grandmother.
him.
All right,
That's
so
the show.
speaking of sexy black men, Seth Rogen is writing and producing a brand new TMNT animated movie that's going to be
Stop
releasing August 11th, 2023.
I like that.
I'm so in.
Yeah.
I love the way he dives into his source material and really pays homage to it, specifically with the fact that we just got done talking about him with Invincible. And I don't know about you fools, but TMNT is the holy grail for me of shows that I grew up watching.
Oh, absolutely.
And movies that I love. I have a deep-seated love for all the brothers and Shredder and Splinter and those whole characters in that entire universe. So putting that into a big name like Seth Rogen's hands and it going back to being animated, thank God.
And don't make it weird, cel-shaded animation, fucking like Nickelodeon did.
Yeah.
Give us something cool.
Although I love that series, I want the old school one where they fought Patrick Stewart and whatever it was. Like that
What?
kind of animation. You don't remember that movie? Where
Patrick Stewart. I don't remember
Stewart was
Patrick
a
Stewart.
immortal who was trying to bring back all these other immortal fighters and they couldn't die, and he was trying to figure out how they could. Anyway,
I don't
Chris
remember
Evans
that.
was in it playing Casey Jones, just for reference.
Oh, how recent was this?
Oh man, how recent? I was about to say really recent. I bet it's a 10-year-old movie.
Yeah, okay, that's when I fell out. I think the last one I watched was the second Michael Bay live action movie.
Oh Lord!
And I watched half an episode of that new Nickelodeon reboot, and I went, nah, not for
Wait,
me.
which the fully animated or the CGI one?
The CGI one.
Oh, we watched all of those. We love them.
Really?
Yeah.
Or no, wait, not what's the most recent one?
The most recent one is fully animated, where Raphael's huge.
Yeah, that's the
and-
one I didn't like.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan.
I
of
watched
that
the
either.
no, I take that back. I watched the first season of the CGI one. I really liked it. I just didn't have anywhere to watch the second season.
We have all the seasons. You can borrow them.
Yay!
You just have to
Jen,
fight.
guess what we're watching?
You have to fight our children for them, but you can watch it.
Watch
I think
what?
you can
I could
take
beat them up. I'm
Actually, it's
way
all
taller
on
than them.
Hulu. It's all on Hulu.
Is it?
Watch
Okay.
what? Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
It's all on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
Every season, every episode.
Can I still
Well
fight your
worth it.
children?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Jordan's
We're gonna-
Just for the Hulu
Yeah, I was about to
password.
say start with Emmett, get your confidence up before you
Yeah,
start
yeah.
with Jillian. Okay, so that's going to do our first commercial break real quick. We're going to take just a few minutes off, and you guys are going to hate the commercials, but you're going to love us, and it really helps us. So we will see you back here shortly with some MCU news.
Landing on the floor. Speaking of
I
which,
deserve
you're
it.
recording, you jerk.
What do you mean? Little behind the scenes for everyone.
I almost fell.
That was the context that you didn't have. That you didn't have, but now you do.
I give the people what they
gosh.
want, and they
That's
want
right.
context.
That's right. So we're moving into the MCU. I'm excited for a couple things. This one is kind of a discussion piece that we want to go around the table with. The former director of the first Deadpool, Tim Miller, made a public statement that Deadpool doesn't need to be rated R. And I'll go first. I completely agree. No property needs to be rated R.
That's wrong. Venom needs to be rated R.
So, but here's my thing. How dare you bring my son into this? You're right. It doesn't have to be, but in order to pay homage to the character and give him full range, even if you don't soak up every single ounce of that R rating, you still want him to be able to have that room to flex, right?
It's true. I mean, Deadpool, I think, is the most flexible out of all the comic book movies I want to be R-rated. With a PG-13 rating in the United States, you can still say one fuck.
That's right.
So you can really save that for a pivotal moment.
No, see, I'm going to go the opposite.
Or just throw it away for nothing.
And it needs to be rated R. I mean, look at the diehards when they made that one that was PG-13.
Which number was that?
That was actually the fourth one.
Are you
Well,
sure?
there you go.
Yep, it was PG-13.
Is that Live Free or Die Hard?
Yes, and he didn't know that it was only going to get that PG-13 rating. Had he known that, he said he would have never done it.
Yeah.
Well,
So there's an interesting story about that before we get back into Deadpool. You know that he had an interview with Kevin Smith a long time ago, and he found out stuff like this. And Smith tells the story that he was calling the head of the studio that was producing the movie and was like, yeah, Oliphant's playing the movie like a pussy. I don't really want to do this with him. I don't really like it. And the studio head was trying to talk Bruce Willis into just going with what they wanted to do. And they weren't buying it. They weren't listening until Bruce Willis said, you know what? You're right. We'll go with this. I just got one question for you. Who's your second casting to play John McClane? And the studio was like, whatever you need, Mr. Willis.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Yep.
Anyway, back to Deadpool.
But yeah, I think it needs to be rated R. Especially when you started the first one the way you did. And the
should it
second
be?
one.
Yeah.
Come on.
Does it need to be?
And
Nah.
what's your thought on this?
I'm kind of on the fence because I think so. The first two were not correct.
Correct.
No, they
They
were rated
were.
R.
The first two were rated R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's what I was. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
so
were
I
rated
understood
R.
what you were saying, but yes, they were. The first two
So-
were rated R.
I think that stepping away from that and backpedaling the gore will be a little, I don't know, off-putting for the audience that follows Deadpool. However, as far if the language is the barrier that's going to allow that, I don't know.
That was going to be my follow
I
up
was gonna
question.
say-
Yeah. That
Is what do you turn down?
That's
do you
what I
turn
was-
down
okay.
the gore or do you turn down the language?
That's why I'm conflicted.
And as Mark so eloquently put it, you get one effing out of Deadpool, and I don't know the number on the other swear words that he gets. And that's not his greatest strong point, honestly.
I don't need the cursing.
I don't
The
need it
cursing-
at all.
That's
Give me
what
the
I was going to
violence.
say.
I don't care about the cursing.
So I was going to use a super quick comparison. Hamilton on Broadway. When it became available on Disney Plus, it's the first time I've ever seen it. I never saw it in real life. I never saw it in outside of Disney Plus. And apparently there were several different moments where an F-bomb is dropped that in the Disney Plus version, they get one. And so there's moments to where, like, you know as an audience, if you know the Hamilton story, where it comes from, and the actors are, like, they do something that everybody laughs because they know that an F-word's supposed to come out. So it's like, for me, I don't miss those F words. I don't miss the potty language.
Because you didn't know it was there.
But it's Deadpool. So it's like, that's kind of why I'm conflicted. It's like the language I don't really care about, but it's Deadpool. It's supposed to be gory. He's supposed to get blown up. He's supposed to have limbs ripped off. That's kind of the point of the character.
Yeah.
So you're kind of taking away from the gore if you don't get to see it. It's like we've used the Swamp Thing
Yeah.
example before too.
Yeah.
The HBO version and the CW version. CW can pound salt when it comes to the HBO version because the HBO version shows things getting ripped apart and limbs getting ripped off, and it's so much more captivating to see that stuff.
I just got a question. Can you shirt cock it in PG-13?
No.
Oh, there's no shirt cocking?
No.
Then it's got to
I
be
don't
rated
think
R.
there's shirt cocking.
There is in
anything
Deadpool
but
too.
rated R.
Yeah. But so that was going to be my next thing is, I see them toning him down, and I'll give you a yes and no. So for a Deadpool movie that he is your titular character, he's the guy you're focusing on, you can't go away from the R because that's what people come to expect from their favorite hero. Mm-hmm. And if you sit there at home and think that Deadpool is not up there in the same line as your Iron Mans, your Captain Americas, your Batmans, your Supermans, you're crazy. He is such a popular commodity right now for so many people. So that's where the argument comes in of where can we make him relatable to everybody? And I think when you throw him into collab movies with other heroes, sure, tone him down, make it funny. Make it so that he can't do that one thing that he wants to, but he knows he can't. Mm-hmm. Everybody would get tickled pink about that, and it would be a really funny part in the MCU for him to be on there kicking it with Spider-Man when he knows that Deadpool really can rip it up.
Yeah.
And then you let him have his own universe where he can do what he wants. And if you have other visitors from the MCU or what have you join Deadpool, they can get in on that.
We can hear Captain America say the F word
Exactly.
and rip a guy's arms off.
I'm
But-
still stuck on shirt cocking.
I don't know. I think
Porky
Well,
picking it.
here's the thing to think about too is because the audience for the MCU is 12 years old now, I believe. Mm-hmm. So the MCU is 12 years old. So if somebody started watching these movies when they were 10, they watched Iron Man 1, Thor 1, Captain America 1, blah, blah, blah. They're 22 now. They're old enough to see these violent R-rated movies.
Yeah.
So just like everything else, you can age the content with your audience. So I think this might be the one way where they can kind of ease into that R rating and just do what they need to do to make it successful, because that movie made a shitload of money both times around, and actually a third time around where they made the PG-13 cut.
And
People
that's
went back
Ryan
and watched
Reynolds
that.
being Ryan Reynolds, and most of his movies nowadays are rated R.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's the other side of that same coin is that Ryan Reynolds is one of those stars that doesn't need it. He can entertain you no matter what.
That's the thing that keeps going in my head is like, we don't need an R-rated Deadpool movie, but I want one.
And that's the thing.
It'll work with these people at the helm.
Exactly. It'll work no matter what because it's Deadpool and people will just be happy that he's there. Mm-hmm. For him to be the number one highest paid MCU star of all time, yes, higher than Robert Downey Jr., higher than Chris Hemsworth, higher than Chris Evans, Deadpool is going to get his moment to shine. Yeah. It's a guarantee.
Absolutely. And the main reason these big studios don't want to do R-rated movies is because it cuts down their audience.
Yeah.
Their income levels go down because less people can see their movie.
Less people can see it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You telling me parents wouldn't take their kids?
Oh, of course
They
would.
absolutely would. I know several parents in this planet that would take their children to see any movie.
But here's the thing, too, with movies like Joker, which was R-rated, and made $1 billion. Like, they're not worried about that anymore.
Yeah.
Those kids are getting older. They're all going to watch these movies. People are less susceptible to worrying about an R rating.
There are still some movies, and Deadpool's one of them, that we don't let our kids watch.
Yeah.
It's a little far, but they'll see it one
The
day
first
and they'll
one.
go, holy
Yeah,
cow.
definitely the first one. Most definitely the second
I was going to
one.
say the weirdest experience ever in a movie theater was when we went to go see it. The movie theater was packed, and this
Yep.
dad and either his two sons or his son
No,
and
two
his
sons.
son's friend, whatever
Yep.
it was, all three of them walked in like 2 or 3 minutes into the movie.
They couldn't sit together.
They couldn't sit together. There was one spot right behind us and one spot on either side of us, and that's where they sat. And where did the two kids sit? On either side of us. I was like, this is so
So there's
Why don't you move over one? That's so inconsiderate.
I don't think
it doesn't matter. It was weird.
I don't think the seating arrangement is quite what she remembers, but I remember a young man having to sit next to
There was two young kids, and anytime there was anything like sexual or weird or something like funny, punny that was adult, they would look past us at each other and like laugh. And I was like, to him, I was like, this is awful.
I just remember the first scene where they're having like the sex montage.
Yes.
And I remember looking over at the kid and being like, "What do you think about that, huh?"
I wanted to just put my hand out in front of his eyes. The one next to me. I just wanted to cover his eyes.
You want to know what that move's called?
Oh my gosh. They were like 11 and 12 years old.
But that's the thing. Some people are just... It has a Marvel load right at the beginning, so they're going to let their kids go watch the movie.
And aside from that, it's like to each his own. Like there was no judgment. I was just like, because I was the mom sitting next to the 12-year-old kid watching boobs on the TV. I just wanted to it was like a, it was like
he's
like
in a strip club.
A natural reaction. I just wanted to cover his eyes, and I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So we didn't bring our kids.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so the next bit of Marvel news. Marvel Studios has delayed 2 upcoming movies.
Black Widow again?
No, sir.
How dare you?
All right, so one of them has been moved back from November 3rd of 2021, I believe, to November 10th.
What movie?
Wait, are you telling me I gotta wait an extra week? This is outrageous.
It's outrageous. I'm done. Why even announce it?
I'm gonna write threatening letters to the director.
So what movie is it?
They didn't tell us. It's up for us to speculate. It's one of those unannounced movies.
So if they didn't announce what the movie is, and they didn't announce the date, but they made an announcement that they moved the date that they didn't announce.
From November 3rd to November 10th.
Why?
So,
Why?
1 week.
Why would you do this?
My favorite one
Why
is...
wouldn't you just slow leak that shit on a movie poster? Like, just forget the fact that the third ever existed.
Well, yeah, but this is the one that interests me, and I want us to get our speculations on what movie we think this is. One was moved from October of 2022 to October of 2023,
which is super disappointing.
So a full year. So that's a big pushback.
They need some time.
So what movie do we think that is?
I think
Black
I know
Panther
what
2?
it is, so I'll be the last one to guess.
You're going to be wrong. I'm right. I know what it is. I don't know what it is. Mark, what do you think it is?
Don't know?
It might be our first introduction
it's not on there. Yeah.
to the X-Men.
Ooh.
Maybe they want some time to really mull this over.
First X-Men solo film? That's your guess?
That's my guess.
I like it. What do you think, Ryan?
Black Panther 2?
That's in production, though, isn't it?
It is. But that would actually line up with the release date.
Push it back.
Yeah.
So I think I'm wrong because I don't really know the production schedule, but
nobody does.
I'm almost positive that Guardians was coming out in October of that year. So I think it's Guardians.
You are correct. Guardians was coming out.
I'm almost positive.
2022.
Right.
I'm very sorry, but the Guardians will be making an appearance in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes.
They're not going to push them back another year. Yeah. That's 2 years after
and they
we've
also
seen
have
them.
December 2022
But
is the Guardians
Christmas special.
Okay, but I don't remember what movie was in October. I just remember that Guardians was in the fall of 2022. That's why I'm falling on that one.
Maybe they didn't announce that date. Maybe
you guys here with me now? You want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought you didn't know.
I don't.
You jerk.
Blade.
Oh.
That is one that's been floating around a long.
So that's your guess?
October. Vampires.
This fucking guy is
You
right,
like
right
that?
here. He is correct. Because Blade is going to get a Halloween release, and why would they move it from Halloween to Halloween?
Right? Come on.
You son of a bitch.
They'll
that's
just
your
keep pushing
guess.
it back years because it's vaporware.
Okay,
It's
hold on.
never happening.
It is going to happen.
Sure it will.
They had to wait for
With
Wesley Snipes to
Mahershala
get
Ali.
Yeah. huh?
Wesley has to get out of jail. So once he gets out of jail, they can start filming.
Wesley's out. He's been
Wesley's out, yeah.
They just assume he's going to go back in.
Wow. Way to
In and out.
stereotype.
In and out.
Wow.
Think
Wow.
he learned his
He just got
lesson
out of
about
jail.
Avoiding
But for
taxes.
what?
Tax evasion.
Hold on. You're talking about a really old story. He's been in Expendables since he's been out of jail.
Oh, I know.
He's been
He
out
was
of
in
jail
jail
a long
like
time.
8 years ago.
Wesley, listen, I'll talk to Mark. I know you're a big fan of the show, but we'll talk to him. Okay, so moving on. Paul Bettany says he's not contracted for any more Marvel projects.
Yeah, Paul Bettany. I don't believe a word that comes out of your mouth.
I believe him. He's got an honest face, man.
No, that guy told us that he's working with an actor he's always wanted to work with and is so excited to finally share the screen with this actor. And it was him. It was him the
That's
whole
right.
time.
Yeah, he was excited to see himself. So, woman taking a selfie with a dog at the podcast table. I guess we'll skip you.
I guess
No.
I'm
I
gonna go
like how
ahead
she
and
told
say-
us that the
yeah.
dog would not be a distraction.
Dog's not going to be a distraction.
not.
Here, let's take a selfie.
She's not.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Bettany is telling the truth.
No.
I don't think so either, being that you skipped me for my opinion.
Well, I didn't skip you for your opinion. You have higher priorities. But
Well, that's true.
I think that Bettany is full of it. I think a lot of actors are full of it. So I think they say what they want to say. Andrew Garfield's one of them. I think he's lying as well.
Oh, yeah.
In the most amazing way, and I salute him because I would do the same exact thing.
See, to me, that's one of those things like, why lie about it? Just say it. It just builds the hype. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you tell me Andrew Garfield, all right, let's go see the Spider-Man when it has Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Like, I can't wait for this. Well, he's not in it. It was like, oh, okay, then it's just a
But there
regular
have been
Spider-Man.
situations in the past where I can't remember who it is, but somebody has leaked that they were cast for something, and then Marvel let them go.
Pulled it out, yeah.
Yeah, I
like-
mean, I understand that.
Oh, I'm gonna be,
Marvel's thing. That's what I'm just saying.
I'm
as
going to
a
be
s-
Kang the Conqueror. No, you're
as a
not.
studio.
Yeah. That was the guy from Psych. Oh, no, he didn't say he was going to be Kang the Conqueror. He
I
said
don't
he
remember.
wanted to be Luke Cage. But a lot of times actors will say, oh, I'm cast, so the fans freak out, hoping that people will go, yeah, but if you've learned anything from Marvel, you don't dictate anything that they
Marvel's
do.
like the one company that just goes the opposite way.
They're
with
the
it.
ones that say, nah, sorry, we're
Just like
not
we all
doing
wanted
it.
Allison Brie as She-Hulk, and we didn't get it.
I'm still mad about that, and it isn't even reality
Or Stephanie
yet.
Barrett's. Whatever. We didn't get either one.
I'm not mad about the Allison Brie. I like Allison Brie. I think she's very talented, but the young lady they have cast in her stead, I am excited for.
Do you have other Marvel casting news in your news?
I do
Okay, I'm just curious.
not. I do not.
Oh. You guys may have covered it last week then.
What is it? What do you got?
Craven casting?
Yes, we did cover
Okay.
that. If
I
you
haven't
listen to
listened
the
yet.
episode.
Well, you know what? I haven't
Golly.
watched Army of the Dead yet, so I don't want to listen to the episode and ruin it because I hear you guys spoil the hell out of it.
yeah, we also give spoiler warnings before we do it, but you'd know that if you listen.
Well, I did, and then
You
I
can
was
watch
like,
the news. You know how this works.
I don't want to spoil the news.
All right, so moving on. Black Panther. Speaking of Black Panther, Denai Guerrera? She's the one who plays the leader of the Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
She is confirmed for Black Panther 2 and the Wakanda series.
Good.
Nice. She's
She
so
needs to be
good.
in it.
She BA.
She
I'm
is
excited
extra
for
BA.
her to be, well, she already is, but to be a major leader in the MCU going forward.
Because we got the Dora Milaje in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but
Yep.
it wasn't her. So I was like, oh, no, I wish it was her. But then
I think
everybody
that
else
was-
did a great job.
I
so it
think
doesn't
that was
matter.
their attempt to broaden the universe because the young lady that was there, she was in the movies as well. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just broadening the universe, which, you know, I'm preaching to the choir here with my MCU crowd. Wakanda is such a rich and huge part of the MCU universe. You need to.
Well, I mean, she signed on for everything. Does that make her possibly the new Black Panther?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Although she is at Black Panther's side when he disappears at the snap and when he returns. Mm-hmm. But I don't think she, in the lore of Wakanda, has any claim to the throne. And knowing her character and how rigid she is with the rules, she wouldn't even betray Killmonger. Because he was the new Black Panther. I mean, she'd be willing to bend the rules but not break them because she loved Wakanda so dearly. I highly doubt she would take the mantle without having a proper road to it.
That's true.
So
But she's the fiercest warrior in all of Wakanda now.
she's one of them. She's one of them.
pretty high up there.
I still think it's going to be my boy M'Baku. I want to see a swole panther.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Anyway.
got more spandex.
So speaking of swollen, as in big arms and muscles for my nerd crowd out there that don't know what I'm talking about. Chris Hemsworth and crew just finished wrapped filming on Thor: Love and Thunder.
That was a
Anybody
wonderful
see that-
picture you
that
posted
Instagram
on
picture
Have
on
you seen
how big he is?
the picture of Chris Hemsworth?
Do you know why he's that big?
why. Yes, I do. I do know why he's that big, because he's doing a Hulk Hogan biopic.
For Netflix.
So he needs to have the 30...
He's bulking AF right now.
What's
When Chris Hemsworth needs to get bigger to look like Hulk Hogan.
What's Hulk Hogan's big claim to fame? The 38-inch pythons?
24-inch pythons.
Is it 24? Are
Yeah,
you
which
sure?
doesn't seem that big, but that is what he used to say.
It's
That's
massive.
2 feet round.
That
That's
is
2
big.
feet around.
My waist is like
Yeah.
27,
I gotta-
28.
I gotta-
That's a lot.
Sure it is.
I gotta
I don't
Google it.
I was like, oh.
I gotta Google it real quick.
Girls in their waist sizes, am I right?
But truly, he posted that picture.
extra small.
He posted that picture on Instagram and was like, I'm posting this on No Flex, whatever day it was.
Yeah.
Figured I'd post a picture of me being relaxed as possible, and he literally is just standing there with his arms like hanging down, and his arms look bigger than my whole body.
Oh, I'm just relaxed. Freaking take a breath.
So here's the actual quote. God created the heavens, he created the earth, he created all the Hulkamaniacs, then he created a set of 24-inch pythons, brother. Thanks, dude. Hey, brother. Look, you don't ever, if you're a wrestling fan and you grew up watching wrestling, hear, well, let me tell you something, without going, brother. It just doesn't happen. Tell me you don't, and I will call you a liar.
Mm-hmm. At least think it in your brain.
But Hemsworth's arms look huge.
Yeah, he looks ginormous.
I bet you they're 24 inches.
Yeah.
Wonder if he's taking the shortcuts.
He's got to be.
I
He's
mean,
got
I
to
hope
be.
not.
You don't go with such a drastic transformation. Now, granted,
was it that drastic?
yeah,
He went from big to really big.
dude,
Or really
I'm
big to
telling
really,
you.
really big.
Arms
He's Chris
like-
motherfucking Hemsworth.
arms
It
like
doesn't
that
matter.
do not just happen.
No.
No.
No, he has got some juice in him.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
100%. I'm just saying, that dude probably has immaculate diet, great workout regimen, but there are some things that the human body just doesn't naturally obtain.
He is bulking on a very, very, very heavy protein diet. That's exactly what he's doing.
Okay, you're a hero.
If he's taking
I'm
shit
just
just to play
saying.
Hulk Hogan, that's such a shame.
That's
No,
what he's
I know.
doing.
He's just getting in the
But see, that's
mindset of the role, you know?
you're both saying the same thing. You're right. It's like, why would he do that? But actors do that.
Yeah, he's in a massive protein surplus, and he's working out to build muscle.
He is
Like,
also
I really need to get into the character.
he
I'm
is-
going to take a bunch of steroids and get really
he
racist.
also flips like 3-ton tires for fun. I follow him on Instagram personally.
Very heavy tires.
Dude, they're like as big as this room.
Oh, my God.
I just want to know what Sandra Bullock's flipping on Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
Pancakes.
Me too.
You hear me, brother?
Well, you can't say Sandra Bullock and pancakes in the same breath.
We're gonna have to take
We're
another
gonna have to take
commercial
another
break.
commercial break. No, I'm kidding. Let's
Everybody
move
leave
on
the room.
to Thor's younger brother,
Liam?
older
Liam?
brother.
Liam's
Step
younger.
brother.
Liam
Loki.
is younger.
You idiots!
Oh,
did I
damn it.
say Chris Hemsworth or did I say Thor?
Amateurs.
I don't know. I think you said him.
I could have sworn he said
Loki.
Hemsworth,
Me too.
which is why I was like,
I mean,
Liam?
we don't. Do we know who's older? Does it ever is there ever a joke poked?
Thor is older. That's why he's
Thor.
the heir to the throne. The
Thorn.
throne.
He's also
Ow, it hurts.
he's also the legitimate blood son
heir to the-
to Odin, but that means nothing, I guess.
Yeah, it means
But
nothing.
they also assumed that before he found out he was adopted. I just
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Guys, we're a week away.
So
Less than a week away.
one of the producers of the
Loki.
series, one of the producers of the series said this will have major ramifications for the entire Marvel universe.
Kang!
I don't know if it's necessarily going to be Kang. That'd be dope because he's going to be the main villain in Quantum Mania. So if he's introduced in this series, I'd be surprised.
Rampant speculation on my part.
Sure.
Fine.
But
allowed.
what timelines, what universes, what multiverses could Loki possibly tap into?
Fuck them all up!
Loki, do what you do and be that heavy granite rock in a garbage disposal.
Love it.
I can't wait to see Loki rip the fabric of the MCU apart.
Oh, I can't wait. He's going to be DB Cooper. That's crazy.
I want to see what he's going to do. I mean, episode 1, I don't know what to expect.
So next week, can we just do an episode 1 recap?
No.
No?
We can't do a recap. We can just do...
Episode 1 discussion?
Yeah.
I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to need to talk to somebody about
We'll
it.
do a discussion, but I don't want... It'll be so early. I don't want to, spoil
I just want
it.
to talk about how fun episode 1 is, and then we can...
Yeah,
So
we
the
can
whole
talk about
thing at
how
the end.
excited we are trying to avoid any spoilers. Maybe some ideas that we have, or maybe some fun Loki moments. I don't know. I'm on this train because
It'll be
I'm-
impossible not
I
to
know.
spoil.
Everybody get on the Loki train.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe we'll just do a Loki episode.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about this off the air.
No,
Let's go.
Let's
Okay.
talk about it now.
No. Well, I got this. We got plenty more stuff to do.
Yeah, we do.
got plenty more stuff to talk about. Okay, so
If everything
Stay
works out,
tuned.
we're not talking about Demon Slayer.
Stay tuned.
next we're talking
Stop it, Mark.
Spider-Verse. First and foremost, Emma Stone denies she's in Spider-Man. You beautiful liar.
You lying hussy. Has anybody watched Cruella yet in this room?
No,
I really want to.
I do
No.
too.
Mrs. I was so excited about
Hey,
Cruella.
but what did I say? I might not spend the money on
You said you
Premiere.
wouldn't spend $30 on it. So there
yeah.
you go.
I
That
said
lines
would.
up.
I said I would be willing to wait
Yeah.
to skip the
Yeah.
premiere.
Me
costs.
too.
In 6 weeks, it's going to be for free on
That's
Disney
what I'm
Plus.
saying.
So why pay for
I
it?
am very excited. However, am I willing to wait? COVID has taught me patience to have to wait for movies. So I said that, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, the day that it's free, we'll watch it.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
The day that it's free.
The day.
Just like Mulan. I watched it and I'm
will-
like, I'm glad I didn't pay $30 for that.
We still haven't watched that one.
I didn't watch
It's very
that one.
okay.
Okay.
I didn't watch it because I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Because
I've never seen the original one.
the live actions just aren't that good.
Go back
But
and
this
watch it.
one, I
You
don't
won't
consider
regret it.
a live action. It's a prequel. It's a lot of other things. And Emma Stone. So I'll watch it.
This is Emma Stone in a movie.
All
I'm
right.
in.
So yeah, right. So Sony executive Sanford Panitch,
Sounds like a liar.
Panitch. Here's a quote from him. You ready for this?
Can't trust him.
I saw this quote and peed a little. There's actually a plan to connect Sony's Spider-Man universe to the MCU. It's getting a little more clear for people where we're headed, and I think when No Way Home comes out, even more will be revealed.
Multiverse.
Are you kidding me?
Multiverse.
So when that happens, we have the opportunity to see Eddie Brock, Morbius, Spider-Man, all these villains, Jamie Foxx's Electro, I would be willing to bet you $1 whole that Jamie Foxx is not somebody they're just going to dismiss in the MCU.
No way.
Yeah.
Alfred Molina, perhaps?
Can we recast Morbius before the movie comes out?
Why?
Because it's Jared Leto.
I share your disdain and dislike for Jared
I was
Leto.
gonna say disgust.
But I want to see Morbius with Jared Leto. I want to
I was
see
going to
it.
say, I do,
I'll
first
give
of
it a
all,
shot.
I do too, and we've had this argument before. We actually just talked about it a couple weeks ago about Heath Ledger and the Joker and how we felt about that and how it ended up being.
Okay,
You never
that's
know.
the opposite.
Maybe- but no,
Everybody
no.
was excited about Jared Leto, and then he shat on screen.
Okay,
For
well,
the Joker?
Yeah,
maybe Morbius is more his speed.
maybe.
Let's
Morbius-
wait.
You know
Morbius-
what? I'll be optimistic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Be a little optimistic.
It's a little bit more gothic and dark
Yes.
and
Not that Joker's
what's
not
the word
dark.
I'm looking for?
Eccentric.
Eccentric. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a lot more eccentric. Surprisingly to say, it's more in Jared Leto's wheelhouse
Yes.
to play Morbius and have a little creative freedom than to touch the Joker.
I feel
because
like
the
It's a
Joker,
lesser loved character.
the
so-
Joker is a very eccentric character. He's very crazy. He's very wild. But there's a playbook you have
Yes.
to play by if you're going to play him.
That's what I was going to say. Is
Nobody told him.
he fits the bill for Joker in a sense.
Watch your tone.
I know. I'm backpedaling. I'm backpedaling, but like he does fit that crazy, very eccentric actor. You know, he does fit
Yeah,
that.
he did all those crazy things on set.
Yeah, sending a rat to Margot Robbie.
Used condoms and all this shit,
But
and then
the
nothing
Joker-
came of it.
The Joker takes a very special talent that we found in Heath Ledger
And Joaquin Phoenix.
and Joaquin Phoenix
and Cesar Romero.
And Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I'm going to be
Jack-
honest.
So everybody but.
So I just think that it takes a and I think that he just missed the mark. It wasn't that he did a terrible job, because I think that there are parts that I'm just like, okay, but he doesn't hit the mark.
He doesn't really deserve all this hate from my behalf, but he missed the mark so much. I just roll my eyes when I hear his name now.
I think he does.
He misses the mark.
He deserves everything we're throwing at him.
All that hate.
Here's the thing.
I honestly don't think Jared Leto's been in anything that I actually like.
I liked him in Lord of War, but
Never seen it.
Here's the thing with the Joker, you have to play him a certain way, but I think audiences are so ready to see him that they'll give you a little bit of leeway if you're not perfect.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I think Heath Ledger, in my humblest of opinions, is the perfect Joker.
Yes.
From start to finish in Dark Knight. I think he played him the way I imagined Joker in my head, and part of that's due to his performance.
Yeah. Because there are more chaotic versions of the Joker. There are more mob boss versions of the Joker. Yeah. It goes a couple different ways.
Yeah.
And that's not to take away from Jack Nicholson. I thought he did a great job and kind of really opened the door for everybody. Mm-hmm. But when you take a character that I would think most audiences would agree there's nothing wrong with him. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And he took such drastic measures to change Joker. That's where you're like, yeah, no.
So I think what made Joaquin Phoenix so captivating in that role is that I feel like the Joker is the best way that I can think to describe him as a character is that he's a very poetic character. And I don't think that Jared Leto had that artistry, I guess. I don't think is
He had like a more club promoter vibe.
He had more of a club promoter. He had more of a
urban gangster.
Like a 2D old school kind of comic book. Like he was kind of stuck to the script of what it was and not what it could be. And I think Heath Ledger literally brought the pages to life. And I feel like Jared Leto brought it back to paper. Like, does that make sense? Like, there's just not a lot to him. There's nothing
poetic
about him.
So his creative freedoms he took, he just didn't do anything creative with them.
Right. He just stuck to the script.
Yeah.
Like, it was very...
But they tried to do this like weird millennial Joker thing,
I didn't
and it
like
just did not work
So that's
out.
what I'm saying, is he didn't play a bad Joker. He didn't play a good Joker either.
Yeah.
Like, there was... Yeah.
So he didn't do anything.
He
sounds
was
about
just-
right.
He was just the Joker. For the Joker character, you have to be poetic. You have to be an artist. You have to be like above and beyond without being over the top. Mm-hmm. And he was over the top. He wasn't above and beyond
With
like
no
Heath
substance.
Ledger. I know. I'm.
All right, I can bitch about this all day. This
I
could be
know.
a whole-
I was going to say, we
This is
got
not a
on
Joker
him
episode.
because of Spider-Verse and Morbius. I still think he's going to do a good job as Morbius. But
I think he will too. I think that's a better fit for him.
I watched the trailer and I went,
Oh,
I'm getting a phone call.
Who's ringing in?
That's cool. Yeah.
on the hotline.
Anyway. We're going to take another quick break, and then we'll be right back to talk about gaming news.
Oh, 2 breaks.
Which is taking the forefront of all of this. Gaming has a lot of stuff to talk about. Can't wait to get to that, and then we'll get into Demon Slayer. So we'll see you in a minute.
Your purple mattress ads.
Purple mattress.
That comes after marriage.
Oh, boy. We're going to jump right into gaming news here.
Sorry.
We're diving into Mark's personal life on next week's episode.
Oh, thank God she stopped listening to this 40 episodes ago.
No kidding.
Stop it.
Thanks a lot, Jen. All right, so the Battlefield franchise, getting into gaming news, has appointed a former Call of Duty executive to help grow the series. Is that a good move? Bad move?
Wait, what was the first?
The Battlefield franchise, which is kind of a MMO as far as,
That seems like a
MMO.
decent-sized franchise, but does it have that much room to grow? As
Right.
somebody
Yeah.
from the outside? I'm like, I never really saw a lot of appeal in the Battlefield franchise.
I did. Having
Battlefield
played a lot of Call of Duty.
was a good game.
But Battlefield seems like the Call of Duty when you don't have Call of Duty.
So Call of Duty was very, run around shooter, and then which I think Call of Duty has since upgraded. But Battlefield introduced being able to jump in the tanks, jump in ATVs,
That's
being
pretty cool.
able to jump into helicopters,
Fully
and the
destructible worlds.
maps were 4 to 5 times bigger. and I will sacrifice a little bit of detail in my character to be able to run that whole map. And there are some players that are able to just take over an entire game by having a good helicopter pilot.
Yes.
So it's like a GTA Call of Duty crossover kind of situation.
And fun
where you
fact,
can
shout
kinda
out to
run
my
and
boy
gun.
Eddie Mendoza, Battlefield Bad Company. He literally became the #1 player in the world in that game on Xbox 360.
Eddie, before we started recording, Ryan was telling us how trash you were. I
He
just want
was
to tell
trash.
you,
Kid
as
was
your
cheeks.
friend,
He copied my play style.
as your friend, Eddie, I want to tell you that I love you and congratulations. But Ryan was just talking mad garbage.
Eddie, as somebody who's never met you or talked about you before
Yeah,
my
that's
entire
true.
life.
So So what do we think? I think that's kind of a stupid idea. I don't know. So when I think Call of Duty, I think monetization. I think really cheap, annoying gameplay, and I don't think that when I think of Battlefield.
But Battlefield's been falling off the last few years, the last few Battlefields. So if it'll get them back to where they were when Battlefield 4 came out,
Yeah.
when the Xbox One was released, that game was a monster.
I think Battlefield made a poor decision going to World War I and going to older guns and older technology.
Yeah, but sometimes it's throwing it back is not a bad thing. It's just the way they carry themselves, like the way that the gameplay doesn't really change. It's the same one big map. You go take a point, or you go and what is it? Forget what the other one is. But there's only like 2 different types of game types in that. There isn't like you can't go play 18 different types of things like you can on Modern Warfare or Call of Duty. You can't play like Headquarters or just Slayer or go play Demolition or something different. All you have is those 2 game types, and that's what the second one was. It's like a bomb defusal kind of game. But
Is Battlefield Xbox exclusive?
no. It's on both.
Because okay, so I don't, as everybody who has listened to the show before knows, I don't play a lot of video games, but I've played Call of Duty dozens and dozens of times socially with people. I've never seen anybody say, "Come on, let's play Battlefield together." That has never happened, not once.
It's too big of a scale of a game, I think, for it to be something like that.
Okay.
It's one of those things like if you play Battlefield, you play Battlefield. But like me, when I go home later today, me and the boys are going to go hop in Warzone at 10:30 or so. And
You're being
we
gross.
Run every
I love
night.
how he said 10:30 and then hesitated or so. Like it's literally he's going to get an alarm at 10:15 that says you better get
You're
on.
being gross because Battlefield or whatever it is and all the Battle Royale games are trash. Do you hear me? Jack Austin, the host of Alter Ego Podcast, is telling you your Battle Royale games are trash.
Hey man, just because you're not good, get good, kid.
Whoa.
It is good. There's no skill to land in behind somebody. It just doesn't make any sense. There are so many games where I've been able to get top 5, and granted, this is back when PUBG and Fortnite and the other ones were there, and I just sit around. All you got to do is play smart. Don't get up and go running around the damn map. Be careful, be methodic, and you can get in the top 5. And then somebody's just going to walk up behind you because they had poor planning and see you and kill you. Game over.
See, you play solos is from the sounds of it. When you play in a squad, completely different dynamic.
Right. Do
Like,
you
I don't
realize
even
who
play
is in my squad?
solos.
And I hope he listens to this episode. Rhino.
Rhino?
You know what Rhino shoots at? Butterflies in his living room that aren't even on the screen. Rhino's the kind of guy that when you're in a pure stealth game you've been playing for 30 minutes, you go into your other teammate, you go, hey, all right, so I think we're finally going to engage. And Rhino pops in and goes, I just killed like 10 guys.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the difference in Warzone is you can sit, but they can also buy a UAV and they can track you down. They can find where you're at. There's a lot of things in Warzone that cause a lot of movement. So it's not just sitting there like PUBG. I have a buddy who's won like 3 games of PUBG being on the phone in the bushes. Like, literally not even playing. He was just on the phone in the bushes.
You just got to not die.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Just
so easy. It's so easy.
So when Fortnite first came out, I downloaded it in the beta right away, and I played it probably 10 times, and I went, I don't like this. Like, I don't like this battle royale style. I just don't enjoy this.
Now, if they had that whole Fortnite game dedicated just to the tower defense aspect of that game that I think nobody plays, I would be so in and involved in that game.
What is that, like a
No, you
capture the
wouldn't be.
flag kind of situation?
It's basically where you build your fort and defend it against waves of zombies or whatever the hell.
Hey,
Okay.
If you were, then the Fortnite, the second one probably wouldn't exist because that tower defense was their first Fortnite, and it's out, but you don't play it.
I don't play it because it costs money, and the most
see?
popular part of the game sucks. Anyway, we're going to move on from that. We'll have a whole other episode dedicated to why I hate battle royales. But Borderlands 3 is one of the first games to say, hey, we're going to go full crossplay. We're going to allow PC, Xbox, PlayStation, all to play together.
Why wouldn't they?
Because PlayStation said, nope, pull us from that. We don't want to be a part of this game because PlayStation players are scared of getting domed and destroyed by Xbox and PC. Boy!
No, it's actually not. PlayStation's, they're the GOATs. They're winning. They got the most systems out. They don't need anybody to not play their games. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're exclusives. That's what they make their money off of.
Okay, so the debate 2, I'm calling it now. The debate 2,
if you get
Team
I'll get
Xbox
to it.
versus Team
No,
PS5.
I'm not a PlayStation
I was going to say,
guy.
he's
You know
not a
what I mean?
PlayStation guy.
But that's why, because as you're talking about the Fortnite is actually one of the original games that is cross-play all the way through.
Yep.
And you know what actually made PlayStation break down? Was the fact that Fortnite's so goddamn popular that they had no choice. So PlayStation broke down there. Warzone is another one that they play. There's cross-play. And I can't think of anything else at the top of my head right now. But if it's like a free-to-play and huge, it's going to be on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3? Nah, you can play where you're at as far as PlayStation is concerned.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming every game developer wants their game to be cross-platform compatible. Like, why wouldn't they want that? It's the systems that want to stay to themselves because they want people to either buy their system or buy both systems if they can't decide between the two.
I wonder how support looks for some of those developers when they have to support PC, Xbox, Switch, PlayStation, and all that other stuff. But
apparently it's easier.
Really?
Yep. And then actually there was a time where Fortnite was actually, they were playing against, they were already cross-playing, and people didn't realize until they saw the names. But Fortnite accidentally flipped the switch, and they were running cross-play. You were playing with PlayStation, you were playing with PC, all before. And then once they found out, they like put the kibosh on it.
Yeah.
And then later, they ended up opening it up.
I'll say
But they
this.
say it's really
PC
easy.
is the master race in terms of gameplay. In terms of if you're playing a shooter against a PC player, au revoir. Best of luck to you.
See, and that's another thing, Warzone. It don't work out that way all the time.
Is
bro.
it because of aim assist on console?
No.
Then I don't believe you.
Oh.
Because I've played both, and I tell you what, there's some characters on Overwatch, say Widowmaker, that I am a hot bag of garbage on console. But when I turned her on PC, I was like, oh God, I get it.
Yeah, clicking heads is a lot easier. There's the dexterity of using the mouse and the mouse pad or whatever. But I mean, aim assist does somewhat help. But there's also in Warzone, there's things that even it out, like throwing a stun at somebody.
I'm sorry. You can't get behind the battle royale. Maybe we'll have another episode dedicated to that. But let's move on so we can get Mark to dinner on time. Guardians of the Galaxy has a video game in development by Square Enix.
Oh my God, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
The same crew that does Final Fantasy. They did
Tomb Raider?
the Marvel Avengers game,
Exactly.
which has gotten a lot better now. Don't you dare.
I think
Okay,
they want to
sure has.
self-correct. They're like, we'll make it up to you guys.
And this is not part of the Marvel's game.
No.
It's going to be its own Guardians game. So I'm interested to see what it's like.
It's Guardians. I'm
So
on board.
real quick, let's go around the room. You have your choice of all of the Guardians. Who are you leveling up to max level with the best gear?
Rocket.
And go.
Nebula.
Probably Rocket.
Rocket.
Drax the Destroyer.
Oh, you smart MFer.
Does he get even bigger swords?
Just the daggers. I like the up close melee combat. That's the way I like to play.
And
All
in
right.
my head, all I see is him at Endgame, stabbing that guy in the end.
So moving on, the Final Fantasy VII game that was released for PlayStation is finally having Episode 2 out. Now, for those of you who don't know, which I think I've said this before, Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. That is my favorite game that I have gone in, methodically played. It was a 3-disc PlayStation 1 game when I played it, and the final disc is just the boss battle with the main boss. It's such an incredible game, and I'm kind of not knowing what to expect with it. And I want to play it so bad that I even told Megan, I'm buying a PlayStation just for this game.
Oh, see, they got you with the exclusive.
But they said,
Bunch of bitches.
It's only this part of the game. And I said, wait, what? So I haven't bought a console yet.
So it's Chapter 2? Is that what it's called?
Chapter 2. So the very first part of the game is escaping the city that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like such a minimal part of the game if you look at the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And that is all Episode 1 is getting to the point where you're ready to possibly escape the city. And I saw that and I was like, okay, I'll wait for the whole series to be out.
So you think this is going to be like a drip release? Like they're like, boom, 1,
It hurts
2,
me.
3.
It hurts me, but I think so.
Yeah.
And
I want that
can't,
$60 every year.
I can't give them $60 for part of my heart. When the whole game is out and they say, hey, we've got a $200 version that's the whole series, I'll be like, this is worth my time.
So disc 1 from the PlayStation 1 is Episode 1,
No.
$60.
Disc 1, I'd say that's a third of disc 1.
Oh, so they're going to get you for like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
boy.
a lot. But they just announced it, and I hate that they're tugging on my heartstrings.
Mm-hmm.
When they show Vincent, who's one of the major characters, if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, you know exactly
See the
what
guy
I'm
with the
talking
really
about.
big sword?
That's Cloud.
Ah, okay.
When they show Vincent, who is the vampire character, they might get my money. They might, because I love me some Vincent.
How does it look? Does it look amazing?
It looks incredible. It looks so good.
That's how they got you.
Kingdom Hearts does a great job because they have Final Fantasy VII characters in that one too. And it looks immaculate. I'm so in love with it when I see it, but I'm like, no, you're not my baby. But anyway, I'm excited to see more come from that franchise.
And I was going to say, it's coming to Xbox.
I know.
When I was like 12, my buddy pulled out Final Fantasy VII on the PS1.
Yeah.
He pulled out 3 discs, and I went, oof, I don't know. You know me, I don't like making commitments to video games.
Yeah.
And then we played it for like an hour, and we barely moved anywhere on the whatever. And I'm just like,
It's tough.
this is a big commitment, and I know I don't have the attention span for this,
Yeah.
even back then.
So that was my first dive into video games that was not Super Mario Brothers. My brother played that game endlessly, and he played it with a strategy guide, which now I disrespect him for, because I've gone back and played it without it, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember any of the cool little hints, but like learning
he
it
knew to
now
jump
is
into the roof, and then
he
you run
knew
over.
to go over here and
Warp
grab this.
zone.
Here's this material right over here, and if you grab that, you're OP. Anyway, I'll forgive you someday, maybe at your funeral. But anyway, E3 is announced.
I just pictured you giving the eulogy. You're like, I finally forgive you.
I finally forgive you. E3, the big video game expo every year that normally houses every single big gaming developer in terms of consoles. For instance, this year, Xbox and Nintendo are going to be there,
Oh, yeah?
but PlayStation isn't.
PlayStation hasn't done it for a few years.
Yeah.
What are they doing? They doing their own
What are you doing, PlayStation?
Huh?
Sony Expo?
Do you?
What's
I
up?
don't get it. Do they do their own Sony Expo?
Yeah, they do their own thing.
Oh, that's stupid.
Well, not really, because E3 is hella expensive. Why pay them when you could just do it yourself?
That's the Disney model. They stopped going to Comic-Con. They're like, we'll just do Disney Expo.
Because E3 is crazy popular, and if I was E3, I'd rather have people show up. Because if you think they make their money by other people doing their presentations, you're crazy.
Well, here's the thing, too. Like, if you're Disney and Comic-Con's like, you should have a booth at our place. Like, great. They're like, $50,000.
See, and that's the other thing too.
No.
Is like
Why would
E3
we
is
do that?
originally a trade show.
Yeah.
So it was up until 2 years ago, I think, is when they finally let actual fans come that weren't like press.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
it's industry.
It's become a big
exclusive.
thing.
yeah, it's become a big thing. But now with the internet and like things with like Nintendo when they do their directs and
So everything leaks anyways.
Stuff,
Like
yeah,
there's
you
no
get it
big
out.
announcements.
like you can have the news yourself, or you can pay $1 million or plus for this booth to show games that you could show much less.
And that's a drop in the
Expensive.
bucket for all of these producers and all of these studios. So if you're sitting there like, wow, $1 million to Sony, PlayStation, Nintendo, they stroke that check every day.
Yeah, I mean, it is a drop in the bucket, but at the same time, there's a lot
So-
of things that you have to do and also to get ready for
It's
it.
but it's another thing that drives me crazy. Why wouldn't you go to these big expos? Why would you make your fans go find you here, and here when you can go, yeah, here's a one-stop shop. Come see us here. Now, doing your own expo, sure, I get that. But I'm just kind of like, now, okay, so June 9th is going to be the E3, or June 12th is the E3, but I got to wait for May 26th for the PlayStation one, then I got to go to, September 4th for the Xbox. Dude, come on.
But if you're PlayStation, why would you drive all of your diehard PlayStation people to an event that focuses on
So something-
Xbox,
exactly.
focuses on Steam, focuses on everything else in the world?
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're worried about getting your ass kicked, sure.
And that's the thing, too,
Yeah.
is that the last few years, PlayStation hadn't had much to really put out there either.
They had last big E3. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alter Ego verse. The last big E3 announcement they had was the Spider-Man Miles Morales.
And
Yeah.
that wasn't really a big thing because everybody knew that was happening. Kind of knew that was coming.
Anyway, well, PlayStation, you suck. Fight me. So let's talk about the releases that are rumored for Xbox and then Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we?
And then we might have to talk Demon Slayer without Mark.
We're not doing that. Halo Infinite, Starfield, Perfect Dark, Fable, Forza Motorsport 8, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. We need to talk about that one. And an Indiana Jones game. Any of those catch your fancy?
No.
Indiana Jones game, maybe.
Did you ever play Fable? Did
No.
you ever play Fable?
Did
You ever play Fable?
A what?
Fable is
Mark
a
and I are on
game.
the same page.
It's a third-person game where you interact with the world and you make good decisions or bad decisions.
You told me about
And
this.
your character becomes either an angel or a devil,
You told
and
me
the
about this
powers
too.
you get are influenced by the decisions you make. Next-gen console Fable, give it to me.
Okay.
All right, so in the interest of time, we'll move on to Nintendo.
Now I'm listening. What do we got for the Switch?
Games are being shown at E3 by Nintendo on June 15th, which is the last day of the expo. It's a 40-minute presentation followed up by a 3-hour gameplay-packed Nintendo Treehouse Live, he put with giant air quotes.
Please don't
And
give
the
us any
games
hardware.
he's going to announce: Pokemon Legends Acrius. I am in day one for Pokemon Legends Acrius. Pokemon remake of Diamond and Pearl. Okay, I'm not going to buy that. I love you, but I'm not. Mario Golf Super Rush. I know a good friend of the show, Amber Simpson, is going to be buying that one big time, day one.
I just had the email for that.
Yeah. Skyward Sword. Don't know that one. Sounds like a Japanese one.
It's Zelda.
Metroid Prime.
Okay.
I grew up on Metroid.
Okay.
I'm interested to see this big time. Bayonetta 3. Okay. Splatoon 3. I know that the kids are huge on some Splatoon.
My nephew's going to love it.
I'm into Splatoon because it's kind of a gun game, but it's squirt guns with paint. Kids can play it and have fun and get the experience without having the ultra violence. All in on Splatoon. Love to see that. And potentially
Here's mine.
a new Nintendo Switch console.
No. I don't want to buy more hardware. Everything's fine.
You said no hardware,
It's
but
coming out.
that's not the biggest one that I was going to mention.
Okay.
I don't want to make eye contact with Ryan because he's
I know
staring
it's
me
coming.
down. Breath of the Wild sequel, baby.
Is that what you were playing when you were sitting there?
That
waiting
is-
for the- Oh
Yes,
my
it
lord!
I got the world's judgiest text from Ryan today.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows I've been sitting on Breath of the Wild for 2 weeks. And he's like, have you started playing it yet? Last week he messaged me, have you started playing? I'm like, no, man, work's busy. I've been working late every night. I haven't had any time.
You lied to him too.
And then he texted me today. He's like, please tell me you started this game. And I went, nah, man. And I could just hear.
Listen, let me tell you and all the listeners out there in Alter Ego Land, if you haven't started Breath of the Wild yet, if you don't have spare time, don't pick up Breath of the Wild.
It's too late. I already got it through GameFly.
But
I was
listen,
going to say,
if you start playing, you will be addicted to that game. You will not be able to put it down. It is quite possibly one of the greatest games of all time. Breath of the Wild changed the game for the entire company at Nintendo. It put Zelda at the forefront, well, Link, and the entire universe of Hyrule and all the things that happened. There are games following that. There are not going to be games like Breath of the Wild that you'll ever play again.
You'll start comparing games to like Breath of the Wild. Like, oh, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that?
God
why
damn.
can't I do this?
The hype train is pulled into the station.
And I got to backpedal. I said a few episodes ago that it was like one of my top games of the last few years. That's a lie. It's like my top game of all time.
Bingo. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
like I have
work is slowing down, so I think I have some time coming up.
For me, it's Overwatch, but I cannot. If anybody ever told me Breath of the Wild was their favorite game of all time, I have literally no argument.
Yeah.
I have nothing to knock that game down.
Put it this way, I've got like 900 hours in, and I'm literally on 3 different playthroughs, and I'm still running around places like, oh, I've never been here yet.
I'm sorry, did you say 900 hours?
Probably about 900 hours, yeah.
He has Overwatch hours that I have on that
I don't know
game.
if there's anything that I've done.
Yeah,
for
I think I have a
900
lack of
hours.
commitment. I don't know.
Oh, that's nothing.
That's a lie.
I
Outside
played
of
the Division
sleeping
for 2,300 hours.
and taking pictures of the Bulldogs, I don't know if there's anything outside of
See, he's talking about playing games at 10:30. I'm like, I'm getting ready for bed about 10:45. So
Wow, you and I live in the world beyond the.
No, Mark and I live in a similar world,
Yeah.
9:30, 10:15.
So Metroid Prime, I want to see big time. Let me see Samus back. I'm so interested to see that. But the most exciting one I'm in for is Pokemon Legends Acrius. It is the first
I'm probably
time
gonna jump in.
It's an open world Pokemon game where you're running around and you see Pokemon in the wild and you catch them in the wild. You throw the Pokeball. You do the battle in the wild. You don't go to the cut screen where you're picking your moves and stuff like that. Well, I'm sure you do at some point, but I don't care. I am interested to see more of this game in a big way.
And I hope it's MMO style somewhat.
Same. I agree. It's going to be a good one. So, let's get into it, shall we?
Quickly.
This is the quick moment where we try. So, how long do we give each of us?
I don't know. Ask Mark. How long do we
Mark?
have?
how long you need?
Oh, I don't need long.
Let's do a wager.
I don't
How
need
long
long.
do you think you need to convince me to watch this?
Watch it.
10
Just do
minutes.
it, bro.
I'll think maybe a minute.
A minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
All
say
right.
10 minutes total.
Wow.
You guys are pretty confident for something.
Okay.
So to provide some context,
Let's do that. Yeah.
Usually when Jack is like, "Let's watch this," or Megan's like, "Let's watch this," I'm like, "Cool," no matter what it is. But when they hit me with this one, they're like, "Here's what it is. It's about 26 hours long."
So wait a second.
No,
It's
26
not, though.
26 half-hour episodes.
They're like 22-minute
Actually, like 20
episodes.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a 10, 12-hour investment.
So I would say give it 3 episodes, and you'll be hooked. I'm talking give it an episode, and you'll be hooked.
I've tried watching a lot of anime
Okay.
and
And
American
Wait,
anime.
so I'll start with this.
Like
because-
everybody told me to watch Castlevania. I watched 10 minutes of Castlevania. I'm like, I can't do
Well,
this.
that's also based on a video game, so
And that's
I
honestly,
thought that
that's
I thought that would have a like crossover. Like Dragon Ball Z. I try to enjoy Dragon Ball Z. I just don't.
so
nothing happens in half of Dragon Ball Z.
coming from anime fan for sure, Ryan. Anime fan for sure,
Come on.
Jack. I've never watched a lick of anime and have been sucked into it even in the slightest. This is the first. So he started watching it and I was like, blech, more anime, blech. And then you were on episode 9, 10, and I was like, okay, tell me what this show's about, because I spend a
That's
lot of
not what
time.
happened.
Whatever. I spent a lot of time feet away from him, fiddling around on my phone while he's watching what he wants to or playing video games, because I'm okay with just hanging out, him doing what he wants to do, and me reading the news on my phone. Like,
Sounds
I'm
like
fine
Jen
with
when
that.
I'm watching wrestling.
I
She's
torture her.
Fine.
Yeah.
No, he really doesn't, because I don't mind hanging out there, because there's a time limit to where it's time for bed, and anything before that, I'm cool with just hanging.
10-15.
Whatever. I get to read shit on my phone and hang out with him, and we talk or we don't. Like, it's just time together in the same space.
Ah, marriage.
But whatever. We were a couple, and truly. Yes. All the way up.
Thanks, Jackie Poo.
But truly, that's what it's about. But anyway, we were on probably night 2, maybe night 3 of him watching just a couple of episodes with me in the room, and I was like, okay, what is going on with this show? Because
So here's what happened. She's very close. She did say she was walking by while I was watching. She goes, what's going on with this show? And I explained to her in a sense what the scene was, and she goes, wait, this show? The one that you've been watching? I'm like, yeah.
So
And then the very next night, I come in, and I'm on Demon Slayer, episode 1. And I go, you in? She's like, I want to see what happens.
yeah. So, but he was right. So, like, the first couple of nights, he was watching it, and I was playing on my phone. I'm like, all right, 9:15, I'm going to bed.
You're like,
whatever.
anime, I'm out.
But then it
Yeah.
was like I'm folding laundry or doing the dishes or something, and I'm like, okay, truly tell me what the show's about, because I'm kind of intrigued on what's happening right now. And it was a little weird and
Because you're
crazy.
hearing and seeing bits and pieces.
Right.
And yeah.
So it's definitely anime. It's definitely Japanese anime.
Japam.
Japan.
Is it very overly expressive?
Some of it is. So that's
Like,
what I was.
whoa!
So there are
And I'm like,
moments, I'm not going to lie, there are moments that I'm kind of like, okay, but I get it because it's where it comes from. But the storyline is pretty incredible. Like, the actual story arc of it is pretty incredible. There's a lot of, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like the Japanese anime that it is. But
It is very
the
expressive.
story itself is pretty dope. So coming from another non-anime fan who's never watched any anime, it's worth giving it a shot. If you don't like it through episode 3, you've spent an hour of your time.
You think that's a fair length
right?
of
That's what
time?
I'm saying, because they're 22, 25-minute episodes. So if you give it a solid hour of just a few episodes and you're not wanting to see what happens, like, I'll be surprised.
Then
Let
I'm
me go
definitely
ahead
out.
and give you the premise of this show, right? We'll go through episode 1. Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched Demon Slayer. And I will preface it by saying we watched the movie this weekend.
We did see the movie.
And there was a grown man crying tears in the theater. Now, whether you don't see yourself crying in a movie or whatever, and when we went to our local comic book shop, they said, you will cry during the time of this movie.
I almost got a little misty-eyed, but no.
Was the grown man crying in the theater sitting in your seat?
no.
Sorry. Papa Bear doesn't cry at the movies unless it's a very touching dad-son moment, in which
Yeah.
case you might crack some tears.
He does get real weird with those moments in a good, positive way.
I missed you, Dad, so much. But anyway, so you follow a young man named Tanjiro. Tanjiro is a very good-hearted kid. He's very nice. He's very helpful to everybody that he encourages, has an insane sense of smell that they showcase very early. And you find out in this world, as they all know, that at night, demons are known to come out and eat human beings.
Demons being humans who have been basically in a zombie sort of sense. Demons
These are details we don't need.
previous humans that were basically transformed.
You
Instead
don't-
of killed and eaten, they were transformed
We would
into
love
demons.
for Mark to have found that out, but
On
we're
episode
past that
5.
now.
You find it out so
Demons
early. It's
are
not
around.
a spoiler.
It sure is. But so anyway, demons need to eat people to become stronger. And so our young hero Tanjiro is out later than he should be. He stays the night at somebody's house, goes back the next day. His entire family is dead and eaten.
Says the spoiler alert king.
Episode 1.
Can't believe. Okay, and it's
But it's anime, so like as I was watching it, I knew that was going to be the setup. This is what's going to get him to go where he's going to go. They're almost all the same.
Right.
Like,
So
They're all like orphans.
the
in anime,
entire
aren't they?
family,
a lot of them.
is eaten and destroyed except for his sister, who has been attacked by a demon but not eaten. So she, in turn, has turned into one. And she is a bloodthirsty killer, as in like rip your arm off without blinking type demon.
She's very strong.
And this main character feels enormous guilt that he wasn't there, even though he wouldn't have been able to do shit anyway, towards his sister for not being there to save his family, and interacts with a demon slayer with his sister as a demon day one. And from there on out is his journey to try to maybe cure his sister or become a demon slayer himself and take out the demon that killed his family. And it is level 10 intense. And this anime does not skimp on the gore. On the storytelling,
The emotion.
on the world building
Yeah.
of everyone around you.
See, all these things sound great. They really do. But when that animation style and the action lines and the overexpressiveness, it takes me out of the story.
It's
See, and
not
then
as
too-
heavy as a lot has, from what I've understood, because I'm not an anime follower. It's not something I've watched a lot of. There is quite a bit of the heavy expression, but not as much as there is in a lot of other shows. So
My big takeaway from this one is this is also animated a lot differently than other animes. It's not the typical cartoon. The way they did it, it's crazy.
Okay.
So the anime style, I think you'll actually like the animation style.
Okay.
A lot of sword play.
Yeah. Well, even in swordplay, just like the movement and going through different scenes, like it.
Yeah.
It's a little different than just your typical 2D type
hack
drawn
and slash,
anime.
yeah.
But there are times in this series where you'll look at the screen and go,
Yeah.
they're not going to do that.
And there's a lot of emotion that's built up into this.
I'm not gonna
series,
lie.
Too.
Zenitsu is going to probably annoy the fuck out of you.
Oh,
'cause
Zenitsu
it annoyed
Zenitsu
the fuck out of
is
me.
arguably, in my anime life,
Best and worst character
the
ever.
Yes.
most annoying / most badass
Badass, like,
character
can't
you've
wait
ever
to
seen.
see.
Yeah.
Like,
You're going to hate him and then love him. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
There's
not like-
no in between.
You're going to hate him, and then something's going to happen to where you're like, I
Oh,
hate him so
shit.
much, but that's badass enough to where I want to see everything he does.
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, what the premise of the Demon Slayers is this a spoiler?
I mean,
I don't know what you're going to say.
Okay, so there's
the
a,
hooks are in, so I don't know if you need
Okay.
to dig further.
well, there's a Demon Slayer core that their entire job in life is basically attributed to killing the demons.
Blade style.
Right.
Yes.
Pretty much. So there's this like entity of the highest level
It's
demon
kind of
slayers
hard
that
not
are
to
called the Hashira.
talk anymore.
I know, without spoiling.
Right.
So
Because-
there's like a Hashira, which are super strong, and then there's a bunch of demon slayers that you have to like work really hard to get to.
Let's put it relatable terms. The demon slayers are your Padawans, the Hashira are the Jedis.
and their sole purpose is to kill demons.
And then there is this movie, Mugen Train, which takes place on the train from wherever they are to Mugen. And that movie is the highest rated foreign film of all time.
Train
and
to Busan?
No.
No.
Higher. This movie was rated 97
Oh, the Demon Slayer movie?
by
Yes.
critics.
And
Oh.
the movie follows immediately after the first
which is
season.
kind of
Immediately.
because they normally don't do that now.
And it follows
Weird.
In
Tanjiro.
Japan, they created an actual Mugen Train, life size, with the demon aspects on the train, just so people could experience it. It's the biggest movie that's ever happened overseas. Ever.
Wow.
You're talking Avengers, Titanic, whatever you want to call it. The biggest movie of all time in Asia, in that whole area, is Demon Slayer Mugen Train. And this one over here, I was like, all right, I'm interested to see it. And I was just like, holy shit.
and like I said, it's in theaters, so it's not on Netflix, but it immediately follows season 1. So I mean, if you stick with it, I would say at least give it a couple of episodes because you will truly want to keep going. 'Cause
I'll
the
give it a
story arc is
3-episode
really,
try.
it's
I'll just
really
say
good.
this.
We will
rated,
check in with you next week.
It was rated 97 by Rotten Tomatoes. The audience score is 99%.
I'm telling you, as someone who's not an anime
And I'm
fan,
honestly
it's
going to say
so
the movie,
good.
though, if you didn't watch the anime, the movie's not going to really do anything for you.
No, don't
not
watch
gonna
the
hit.
movie. Don't
Okay.
watch the movie. Start with the Netflix for free series.
'Cause
26 episodes.
And
we
watch
talk
it.
about the movie, and I can tell you how I really didn't care for it nearly as much.
Damn it, guys! I told you I didn't have any free time. Now I got to watch 26 episodes of this. I will give 3 a try.
And we will check in with you next week to see how many episodes you have
You
watched.
sit in front of a screen, just have it on in the background.
There you
No,
go.
no, I got to pay attention.
Thank you.
Yes, you have to pay attention.
I can't watch shit in the background. I can't do it.
I agree.
Rookie ass
But you're
anime
in.
fan.
But we've hook, lined, and sinker you
Hey, there's a hook and a line. There ain't no sinker
for
yet.
3 episodes at minimum.
We're in for 3 episodes.
Hook, line, and
Mouth.
bobbin.
Yeah.
We got him,
Son of a
folks.
Water breathing.
I was just going to do
First
that.
form.
First form.